All right, this is day two, and I already felt the resistance of making another video, but again, the whole point of this is to make 100 pots, right? The reference there is that if you give two groups of people, or I think this was like a study they did, they had two different groups of people, and they said to both of them, make the best pot. And one group's method was to make a bunch of different pots. And then the other group's method was to make one pot, but to study and to plan as much as possible to make the best pot. In the end, who made the best pot? You guessed it, the people who made 100 pots. The idea is that through continual iterations, you make more progress than if you just spend forever studying and planning. So that's what I'm trying to do here. All of that preface just to say, hello, it's day two of making pods. So what are we talking about? We're talking about why Spanish Malachi is better than English Malachi. What I mean is like, has a passion for life, this joy and this sense of like, things matter. Life is like, I'm alive, the world and life is meaningful, and there's like curiosity to connect and to live and to experience. Why does speaking a different language help me get in touch with that side of myself? Part of that is because if we think of the self as a lot bigger than just the conscious perception that you have of yourself, then for me, learning a foreign language, especially Spanish in this case, helps me access that part of myself that was maybe kept underdeveloped or kept away. I feel like I developed this super serious intellectual attitude, and I always had this intellectual curiosity because English was attached to all of my schooling and formal learning. Then learning Spanish was attached to this time in my life where I was going out and exploring different places, meeting different people, being exposed to different ideas, trying really good food, having all these novel experiences. And I guess that novelty and that expansion of experience helped get me in touch with all these different parts of myself that this like formal, rigid, academic type of approach to life in the world kept me in. That's just because of associations I had since birth. Growing up with English as my native language, all those associations, the context, the connotation, the baggage of every word, versus when I learned Spanish, it was like a fresh start. It was a clean slate. That phenomenon led to me feeling like I have a new personality. I have the opportunity to create a better version of myself, a version that is more empathetic, communicative, effective in relationships, curious, self-confident, and able to take on challenges. There's a dreamer mentality, I guess, but later on need some grounding. But yeah, anyways, just kind of a what do we call that? Stream of consciousness right there. But that's okay. Doesn't really matter because we're just making pots here. So this is day two's pot, and it's really confusing and ugly, and there's no special effects. But that's okay because every day we're gonna get a little bit better. What do we try to do better today? Microphone, audio quality. There's still microwaves in the background. There's still this ugly sign, whatever it is, and wearing a plain boring t-shirt. And there's all these things to criticize. But that's okay, because at the end of the day, again, the reason that I'm doing this is because I learned Spanish. I learned Spanish to a really high level in a really short period of time. I fell in love with it when I originally thought I would hate it. And I did for many years. I hated, like, literally, Spanish was like the most boring subject I could think of for so many years. And then I became obsessed with it. And it changed the way that I see the world. It changed the entire course of my life. And it led to so many other great things. But I still see foreign language acquisition as the catalyst to all these other curiosities and changes. At the end of the day, language is the fundamental pillar of so many different things. One of the main, again, we open up a can of worms trying to talk about this, but main reasons why humankind is so successful is because we have language. We can create stories and encode information in all these ways. I think of it as quite literally one of the most fascinating things there is. And for whatever reason, it seems like there's still just so much terrible information about how to learn Spanish, about how to learn a foreign language in general. And I, for many years, thought, because I was constantly exposed to different online language learning communities and different methods, I thought that a lot of the cutting edge knowledge, because this stuff is out there about comprehensible input and effective learning techniques to learn with modern techniques. I just thought, oh, okay, well, no. It's actually important to spread this information, because just day to day on the street, the experiences that I've had over the last few years, it's just not common knowledge. Like people's the collective consciousness level of like understanding about foreign language acquisition is still so low. It pains me to see so many people struggle trying to learn Spanish and thinking that they hate it or that they suck at it, like I did, thinking that I hate it and I suck at it. I'm not gonna get it because I didn't get it for so long, because they have bad information, they have bad methods, and they're learning with outdated garbage. And so that's the whole reason I'm doing this. I'm doing this because I want to share what I think is one of the most beautiful things in the whole world. And I care about it so much, and I love it. If you can experience yourself truly growing and improving in a foreign language, then you'll love it. But you have to see it and experience first. And I promise it's not like anything that you've ever done in Spanish class. Hopefully by pot 100, I will be able to better articulate that vision and bring you along the journey so that you can speak Spanish fluently, because it's pretty amazing. Alright, this video is at 12 minutes. I'll put a little Easter egg in here for maybe some point in the future. Somebody's gonna go down the rabbit hole and watch when I'm like some Yo Ming Ren. That means famous person in Chinese. I don't want to be Yo Ming, but maybe at least have some amount of clout for sharing these ideas and helping improve Spanish language education. Somebody's gonna go down the rabbit hole and find this super old video and be like, oh my god, this is where Profe Malachi started. So, hello. This is where I started. So, again, this is my YouTube creator equivalent of the first day in Spanish class saying, really bad buenos and me gusta los tacos, burritos. Haha. Hey, we all gotta start somewhere. I will see you tomorrow for another pot.